Hey Gems, it's Em, and so tonight I'm going to actually be starting a new series. I asked you guys what kind of videos you guys would like to see, and along with some weekly vlogs that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be starting a new series called Wheelchair Wednesday, and every Wednesday I am pretty much just going to show you certain things that I do from a wheelchair point of view. One of my friends, Rory, she had this idea which I thought was fantastic, and just to show you guys what my life is like on a day-to-day basis. And so it's either going to be a collaboration of in between vlogs throughout the week, or it'll be me doing something specific like a baking tutorial or something like that to kind of show you what it's like from a wheelchair point of view. So if you guys think this is a good idea, give us a good old thumbs up. And so I'm going to be doing a baking tutorial for you guys tonight. So if you want to see that, I'm going to be making pumpkin cookies. So if you want to see, stay tuned. And I am working out of the Betty Crocker cookbook, and this is a really old one. I believe, let me see how old I actually can see. 1978, so old. But this is actually one of my favorite recipes. It is perfect for fall, and I'm going to be making pumpkin cookies for you guys. So I'm going to tell you the ingredients that you're going to need, and all of the directions and the ingredients, everything, the entire recipe will be in the description box if you guys want to follow along or make them at home for yourself. So you will need some flour, sugar, baking powder, baking soda, cinnamon, canned pumpkin, not pumpkin pie mix, just plain old canned pumpkin, some shortening, and a little bit of salt. So, let the fun begin. Alright, so pretty much it is one of the recipes where you just kind of throw everything together. So the first thing is you need to mix in your sugar, your pumpkin, your shortening, and also you can add orange peel, nuts, raisins. I'm just pretty much making them how I normally make them, but you can add in all that extra little stuff, and make sure I'll put that in the recipe as well. So first, can of pumpkin, you need 1 cup of this. So I'm just gonna open this up. So if you guys want to see any kind of holiday themed baking tutorials, leave them in the comments, and I will try to do as many as I can. I love baking this time of year. It is probably my favorite time of year just because there's so many different things that I get to cook and bake and all that fun stuff. So whatever you guys want to see, within reason, if I can do it, I will try to do my best for you guys. So, alright, first is a cup of pumpkin, and that's just what it looks like on the inside. And I just normally just grab a rubber spatula and plop it on in there. And normally I've always made these by hand, but tonight I'm going to use my KitchenAid just to kind of help the process along a little bit. And it's been a pretty busy day already. I've already carved pumpkins and vlogged, and I had a doctor's appointment today, so did a bunch of stuff. So, alright, cup of pumpkin, and as always, my little mixer guy is right there. So, alright, pumpkin. I'm just going to take my bowl out so it's a little bit easier to work with, so I'm not having to bend over so much. So, and this recipe does not have eggs in it. And the one thing I really love about this recipe is that they come out almost like little sponge cakes. So they are phenomenal. And they keep for a really long time too, which is great. So, alright, so we've got our cup of pumpkin. Then we need a 1/2 cup of shortening. So just grab my shortening. And I'm just going to use a 1/4 measuring cup. It's a little bit easier to work with sometimes. So grab my spoon. So 1/2 cup of this. Make sure when you guys are baking, one of the biggest things that differentiates baking from cooking is that you have to make sure that your measurements are absolutely correct. With cooking, you can just kind of, you know, add a little here, add a little there. With baking, it's the exact opposite, guys. So you really want to make sure that you got your measurements right. Also, too, one thing I learned from a very young age is before you start a recipe, make sure you have all your ingredients. I used to do that all the time as a kid. I would want to make something and I'd be halfway through the recipe and, oh, whoops, I forgot something. So, alright, shortening is in. And you guys can use vegetable shortening, you can use Crisco, you can use butter flavor. You know, really, it doesn't really make that big of a difference. So, alright, shortening is in. Alright, and sugar. And we need 1 cup of sugar. So, let me grab my 1 cup and my sugar. Just pour that in. Just like that. Okay, kind of give it a little shimmy to make sure that it's level. In it goes. Just gonna scrape out what was left because I used the same thing for the pumpkin. Alright. Let's get our mixer on our bowl on our mixer. Ugh. And I'll show you guys what we're gonna do. So, I have my flat beater. Just gonna connect that. Bring this up. I'm gonna start it on low. And you just really want to make sure that that's all worked in really well. You can slowly begin to increase your speed. Okay, and then I'm just gonna bring that down. Woohoo! Hello. And I'm just gonna take a rubber scraper and scrape the sides down, guys, because you really want to make sure all of that is really, really well incorporated. And I apologize if this is a little shaky. I'm trying to do it one-handed, so like I said, when I move, guys, my setup will be a lot nicer. So it'll be a lot easier to do baking tutorials. Alright, next is pretty much you just add in the rest of it. So you need 2 cups of flour. So I've got a 2-cup measuring cup right here. And my flour. And I'm just going to kind of add, since I can't fit my big ol' 2-cupper in there, I'm just going to scoop it out and put it right in there. You guys, you can sift this if you want to. I normally don't. I don't know. I mean, I guess certain recipes definitely you want to, if it calls for sifted flour, then you definitely want to sift it, but this one doesn't. So, alright, we've got our flour. And I'm going to add in about half of this. So I'm going to reserve about a cup of it. It's got flour everywhere, but that's alright. I have a rule. If you're not making a mess, you're not having fun, so. Alright, so I just added a cup of flour. I reserved half of it. And now I'm going to add in my baking powder, my baking soda, my cinnamon, and my salt. So, it calls for 1 teaspoon of baking powder and baking soda. This is just a half teaspoon, so just 2 of them, and you really want to make sure that you level it off. It's really important, especially for your leveling agents, to be extremely precise. So, teaspoon of baking powder. Teaspoon of baking soda. A 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So just half of this little guy. And a lot of people don't understand why you add salt to a lot of your baking. All it does is it really brings out the other flavors and the other ingredients, and it makes them a little bit more precise and a little bit more pronounced. Okay, and a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. So there's half and 1. Alright, so all of that is done. So, I am just going to, I got half of my flour in there. gonna bring this up again. Start it on low, guys. Otherwise you are gonna get a flour shower. Or what I have with mine is a little shield that I can just pop on. So just let that mix in for a sec. Okay, and you don't want to overmix this just because then the cookies will not be as soft. So I'm just gonna pour the rest of that in there and turn it on. Let that mix up for a sec. Just checking that I make sure that I have all my ingredients mixed in, and I do. And once it starts pulling away from the sides of the bowl, you guys, that's when you know it's done. So, sorry. Alright, we can put our cookbook away. Take our shield off. Bring this guy down. Alright. So, what I'm going to do is just get all the goodness off of the paddle. And this is a drop cookie mix, which means you don't you don't need to roll it out or, you know, anything like that. You basically just take a tablespoon or a teaspoon and form little balls and drop them onto a cookie sheet. So this recipe is so quick and easy. It makes a lot, which is great. Normally I double up my batch, but just for tonight I'm just gonna do one. And also too, there's a really awesome glaze that goes on top of these once it's done. It's so good. So these are just, oh, they're truly probably one of my absolute favorite cookies, and I love making them this time of year. Okay, so clean. Alright, and then I'm just going to take my rubber spatula and just kind of dig in the bottom, make sure all of the ingredients are really nice and incorporated. Sometimes some flour sticks to the bottom, which is no problem. You just take your rubber scraper and just mix it all in together. Yeah. So your end result will look like that. So I am just gonna grab my cookie sheets and I'll be right back. So that is the size we're looking for. Just about a little smaller than golf ball size. Pretty much kind of like ping pong ball. So, hello. So I'm just going to put these all on the tray and then I'll put them in the oven and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so this is what they look like right before they go in the oven. You want to put them about an inch or so apart because they will spread out just a little bit because of the baking powder and the baking soda. So now I'm going to put them in there. So you want to put these, like I said, a 375 degree oven, preheated. So in goes the first one, and in goes the second one. So depending on how big you make your cookies, let me see all your pretty faces, or you can see mine. I'm just getting my little timer out. 8 to 10 minutes, and so I will show you what they look like when they are done. Hey gems, alright, so I just checked on the cookies. They've been in for about 8-9 minutes, and depending on your oven, it may take a little bit longer. So I just flip the racks and then flip them both 90 degrees and, 90 degrees, 180, I don't know. I flipped them and then switched the racks over. So I'm just giving them a couple more minutes and then I'll show you what they look like when they come out. Alright guys, cookies just came out of the oven and look how gorgeous they are. You don't get a lot of color on these, but when you can push them and they don't really go down, that's when you know they're done. So I'm just going to let these cool. I'm going to put them on a cookie rack, which is right here. I'm going to put these on a cooling rack, so then I will show you guys how to make the awesome glaze that goes on it. So, be right back. Alright guys, so we're going to make the light brown buttered glaze for these cookies. And what you're going to do is you're going to start off by melting a quarter of a cup of butter in a saucepan. Just let that melt and start to turn a little bit of a golden brown. Then the other ingredients we're going to need are 2 cups, you can give it a shimmy, 2 cups of powdered sugar. You're going to need a few tablespoons of milk, and you're going to need a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So we're just going to let the butter melt, and then we're going to add the powdered sugar, the milk, and the vanilla extract, and we're going to use a whisk. So let me grab my little whiskadoo. There you go. We're going to whisk it all together until all of the powdered sugar is here. So you're not just staring at, a pot. We're just going to whisk it all together to make sure everything is incorporated and all the powdered sugar is dissolved. And then I'll show you how to ice these cookies, guys. It's going to be good. So be right back. Alright guys, so this is what it looks like, and you want to just make sure that you want to keep it stirring because you don't want it to burn. Make sure all of that powdered sugar is really well dissolved, guys. And you don't want it too thick, you don't want it too thin. This is going to be a glaze, so that is pretty good. So you do want to let it cool for a couple of minutes, and then I will show you how to glaze them. Alright guys, so our cookies have cooled a little bit, and there is our glaze. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a teaspoon, and I'm literally just going to drizzle each cookie. I definitely advise putting down some sort of a protectant on your table or counter. I just put a little piece of aluminum foil. It works perfectly fine. So I'm just going to drizzle. Look at that yummy goodness. Come on. If you guys don't like pumpkin, you should still give these guys a try. Honestly, it is delicious. So I'm just going to finish glazing these, and I'll show you guys the finished product in just a sec. Alright guys, I just put my second rack over the first one, and I just drizzled it, so anything that is going to go from the top to the bottom is just going to go down on the other cookies. So, but that is the finished product, you guys, and look at that. Close up. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to eat these. I'm so excited. So, let me turn you around. I hope you guys enjoyed this baking tutorial. I definitely want to do more because I absolutely love to bake, and it is just that time of year again. Kyle's already coming in to snag one, and there he goes. So, do you want to be on camera? No, he doesn't. I will get him on camera one day, I promise. So anyway, you guys, if you like this tutorial, please give it a big thumbs up. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any other requests, how is it, baby? Do I get a good thumbs up from... If you could hear him, he said that was really good, but his mouth was full. So if there's any other baking tutorials that you guys would like to see, leave them in the comments below, and I will make sure to try to do them as many as I can and as often as I can. And if you guys try these out, put it and do a video, put it as a video response. I'd love to check them out, you guys. That is, baking is just something that's very near and dear to my heart, and it's just good. Can't waste it. Too good. So, anywho, enough rambling, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye! Okay. I couldn't help myself, and, yeah, I already took one bite, but I'm going to take another one on camera just because, I feel like it. Oh my god. I don't know if you guys can see the consistency as I talk with my mouth full. Pretty much the consistency is like a little cake. They're so moist and chewy, and they don't get hard, which I love. Because I really don't like crispy cookies. But, and with that glaze, it's just dynamite. So, try this recipe. Let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments. Sorry, I'm like acting like a pig. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!